CIET NCERT presents the audiobook Kaushal Bodh, textbook of vocational education activity book for grade 6.
Page 34. Project 2. Biodiversity Register. This project will help you to learn about biodiversity among living things in the world around us. Figure 2.1. You will create a biodiversity register based on your observations and the information you gather. As part of the project, you will be able to learn about biodiversity register. Identify places in which to record biodiversity. Record biodiversity in different places. Use different sources to gather information. Prepare a presentation on biodiversity. Figure 2.1. Look around at the diversity of living things in your surroundings. In this page, there is an image in which school students are looking around their surroundings and observing different living things such as animals, birds, trees, and the environment. Page 35. The diversity of living things, known as biodiversity, comprises the variety of life forms on Earth. It includes plants, animals, birds, fish, insects, and even microorganisms that are found everywhere, including soil. See figure 2.1. You have learned about the diversity of living things around us in science. A biodiversity register is used for documenting the diversity of living things in an area. It contains information about habitat, which includes the landscape and types of soil, scientific and local names of living things, what animals eat, living things that may harm others, and other different kinds of information. Recording biodiversity is crucial because, as habitats transform due to factors such as land clearance for construction or agriculture or shifts in climate, many species face extinction or become endangered. This interconnectedness means that the loss of any plant or species affects the ecosystem, including humans. Biodiversity registers also provide people with information that is useful. For example, local knowledge related to crop plants and animals, plants that can be used for their medicinal value, pests that affect plants, when to plant crops, and so on. You can create your own mini biodiversity register by systematically recording the biodiversity around yourself. In case you come across a plant, insect, bird, or animal that you are not familiar with, you can get information by 1. Talking to teachers, elders, family members, or experts. 2. Looking up books in the library. 3. Searching for the information with the help of the internet on the computer. 4. Using applications on mobile phones. Terms used in the biodiversity register. Scientific name. A name given to living things that is the same across languages. Names differ across languages, but a scientific name ensures that people, especially scientists, know that they are referring to the same living thing. Page 36. Variety refers to differences in a similar kind of plant. Example, there are different varieties of mangoes like Alfonso, Kesar, Ratnagiri, Totapuri, Chausa, Dasehri, Langla, Banganpalli, Anwar Ratol, and Peri. Cropping season. It is the season in which a particular crop is grown. Season of fruiting. This refers to the season when fruit trees produce fruits. Source of seeds or plants. This refers to how new plants grow, whether from seeds, seedlings, bulbs, stem cuttings, or any other method. Affected crop. Crop that had been damaged by pests, example, diseases that affect plants, insects that eat the leaves or fruits, or any other reason. Host. It is a plant or animal in which other plants or animals live. For example, dogs are host for fleas, who suck their blood, and some plants are hosts for caterpillars who grow by eating leaves and fruits. Pests. These are insects, birds or animals that are harmful to plants. Pesticide. Pesticides are used to prevent or control harm to hosts by pests. They can be in the form of liquid, solid or gases. Weedicide. Weedicides are used to prevent or control harm to plants by weeds. GI tag. A geographical indication. GI tag is given by the government and recognized all over the world. For plants, it means that the plant is grown in a specific geography and all the produce from that area is of a high standard. For example, we have many varieties of rice in our country. Some with GI tags are Navara rice from Kerala, Basmati from Uttarakhand and Gobind Bhog rice from West Bengal. Another example is of Jalgaon bananas from Maharashtra. What will I be able to do? At the end of the project, you will be able to 1. Systematically record the biodiversity that you observe around yourself. 2. Use different methods to collect information related to biodiversity. And 3. Analyze information to present your understanding of the biodiversity around yourself. Page 37. What will I need? To carry out this project, you will need the following materials. Point 1. A notebook, pen, pencil, eraser, measuring scale, pencil and sharpener. Point 2. You can use a handheld magnifying glass or lens in case you want to observe details of plants or insects. Point 3. A camera or a smartphone borrowed from your teacher or parents or guardians can be used for taking photographs and making video and audio recordings. However, you must make sketches of whatever you include in your biodiversity register. Point 4. You can also use a smartphone for identification of living things. How do I keep myself and others safe? Discuss the precautions you need to take. For example, wear shoes for the field visits. Cover your arms and legs to prevent mosquito bites. Be careful while observing wild plants, insects, birds and animals. Do not disturb any animals, birds or insects. Do not damage any plants. Do not leave any garbage behind. It is harmful for living things. Internet safety. Ask your teacher for help while using the internet. Be careful and do not upload or download anything without checking for safety, and do not share personal information anywhere. Page 38. What do I need to know before I start? Activity 1. What is around us? Look around and observe the living things you can spot. You will find that each one of the plants supports a tiny cosmos full of insects, spiders, squirrels, birds and other creatures that feed on it and seek shelter amongst its leaves and branches. Figure 2.2. You will record some of your observations and related information in your biodiversity register. Figure 2.2. Record observations of living things around us. In this page, there is an image in which school students are closely observing an insect sitting on a leaf of a plant. Before you begin writing on your biodiversity register, complete Table 2.1. This will help you in remembering the living organisms you often observe and where you see them. Example, near a water body, in a farmland or in a park. You can make a sketch or paste a photograph if you want. This information will be useful when you plan surveys to fill your biodiversity register. Table 2.1. Identify locations where you can observe a variety of living things. There is a table given in this page. In the first column of the table, You can write the type of the living organisms like insects, birds, animals and worms. In the second column, you can write the names of each of the insects, birds, animals and worms. While writing the names, try and find the names in as many languages as you can. In the third column, write the place where you find them. Page 39. Activity 2. Meet an expert. You can invite different experts to come and speak to you about biodiversity. For example, a forest officer or a farmer, a conservationist who works for the protection of plants and animals can also be invited to speak about biodiversity. Another person you could invite is an expert in Ayurvedic medicine, a Ved or Vaidya. The person is a practitioner of traditional tribal medicine since they use medicinal herbs and other related plants. You must prepare questions to ask the experts. Some examples are as follows. 1. Where can we find different kinds of plants in our locality? 2. How do we know whether the plants growing in the locality have been there for a long time or were brought from other places? 3. Are there any plants that are no longer found in the locality? 4. Which kind of plants should we be growing more to support biodiversity? 5. Is there any plant that we should not grow as it harms biodiversity? 6. Do you have any tips for us as we start documenting our biodiversity register? What do I have to do? You are now ready to start creating your biodiversity register. The first step is identification of the places to visit. You need to visit them more than once. You will also need to make a plan for your visits. Based on this plan, you have to fill the biodiversity register and then make a presentation based on your observations. Activity 3. Decide which places you will visit to record biodiversity. For example, the area 1. Around school. 2. Around water bodies. 3. Near your home. 4. Around farms, parks, gardens or nursery. 5. Near a religious place. And 6. Near a market. Figure 2.3. Page 40. Figure 2.3a. Pond. In this image, there are school students near a pond observing the biodiversity. Figure 2.3b. Forest. In this image, there are school students observing the biodiversity of the forest and writing down their observations. Figure 2.3. Farm. In this image, there are school students closely observing the biodiversity of a farm and writing down their observations. Figure 2.3d. Park. In this image, there are school students sitting in a park, closely observing the biodiversity and writing down their observations. Figure 2.3. Places for observing biodiversity. Ponds, forests, farms, parks. Clockwise. You should be able to reach the areas quickly so that you can easily go back in case you want to check your observations or the information you gathered. The following questions will help you in conducting your survey systematically. 1. What types of habitats exist in your surroundings? Example, forests, wetlands, grasslands, urban areas. Write down your answer in the blank space. 2. Have you noticed any areas where more plants grow compared to other areas? Answer yes or no. 3. What type of birds, mammals, insects, etc. have you observed in your surroundings? Write down your answer in the given blank space. Page 41. 4. Are there any specific efforts being made to protect plants and animals in certain areas? For example, conservation of some species or permission to enter the area. Write down the answer in the given blank space. 5. Now, which places do you plan to visit? Please write them below. Write down your answer in the given blank spaces 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Activity 4. Scheduling visits for observing biodiversity. Consult local experts, biologists, conservationists and the like. Divide yourself into groups with a maximum of 5 students in each group. Plan to visit the identified areas at different times of the school year so that you can observe if there are any changes during different seasons. Make a schedule for visits and note it in Table 2.2 below. Table 2.2. Schedule for visits to fill Biodiversity Register. Write down your schedule of visits to observe the biodiversity in this table. Visit and explore the identified places, observing plants, insects, birds and other living things along with necessary equipment and materials such as binoculars, magnifying lens, cameras, field guides, notebooks, etc. Page 42. Activity 5. Filling in the Biodiversity Register. Write your responses based on observations and discussions in tables 2.3 to 2.7 for each of the places you visit. There are many rows and columns in a Biodiversity Register, tables 2.3 to 2.7. Try to fill up as many as possible. You can also add more rows related to other kinds of information in discussion with your teacher and peers. You can also make new tables related to living things that are around you. For example, if you live in a big city, look for flowering and fruit trees in the colony garden and so on. Figure 2.4 and 2.5. Figure 2.4. Observing with the naked eye and a magnifying lens. In this image, there are 2 school students observing the biodiversity and closely observing with a magnifying glass. While noting your observations, you should 1. Remember to share your observations with each other. Maybe you missed something the first time you visited a place, but your friend did not. You can always go back again to check. 2. Fill any new information each time you visit a place. 3. Take care to sketch or take photos of insects, worms, birds, plants and animals that are new to you. This will help you identify them later by showing them to others or using an AI tool for identification. Figure 2.5. Recording observations. In this image, we can see 2 school students observing and drawing the sketch of a plant and closely observing their surroundings. Page 43. If you still feel you cannot find any information for a specific part of a table, speak to your teacher before deciding to leave it blank. You are now ready to create your biodiversity register. 1. Observation of biodiversity in crop plants. 1. Date of observation. 2. Location. 3. Habitat type. 4. Weather condition. 5. Observations. Table 2.3. Description of crops. In this table, you can write down the description of the crops. The description include 1. Crop name. 2. Local name. 3. Scientific name. 4. Variety name. 5. Planting method. 6. Special features like cropping and harvesting season. 7. Uses. 8. Sketch or photograph. For example, crop name onion, local name kanda in Marathi, Vendgayam in Tamil, Pyaz in Hindi, scientific name Allium cepa, variety name Pachaganga, planting method direct seedling, bulbs or transplants. Specific features like cropping and harvesting season. Onions can be planted and harvested in different seasons. Uses: eaten raw or after cooking. Sketch or photograph. You can paste the photograph or you can draw a sketch. In the same way, you can write down the description of many other crops in the given columns 2, 3, 4 and 5. 2. Observation of biodiversity in fruit plants. 1. Date of observation. 2. Location. 3. Habitat type. 4. Weather condition. 5. Observations. Page 44. Table 2.4. Description of fruit plants. In this table, you can write down the description of the fruits. The description includes 1. Plant name. 2. Local name. 3. Scientific name. 4. Variety name. 5. Planting method. 6. Special features like fruiting season and aroma. 7. Uses. 8. Sketch or photograph. For example, 1. Plant name mango. 2. Local name mango, amba. 3. Scientific name Mangifera indica. 4. Variety name Alfonso. 5. Planting method grafting or seeding. 6. Special features like fruiting season and aroma. Fruiting season summer. Distinct, intense and pleasant aroma. 7. Uses eaten raw or after making fruit pulp or juice. 8. Sketch or photograph. You can paste the photograph or you can draw a sketch also in the given space. In the same way, you can write down the description of many other fruit crops in the given columns 2, 3, 4 and 5. Note: Alfonso mangoes have been awarded the geographical indication GI tag, which authenticates their origin from specific regions in Maharashtra, particularly Ratnagiri and Sindhudurg mangoes. 3. Observation of biodiversity in fodder plants. 1. Date of observation. 2. Location. 3. Habitat type. 4. Weather condition. 5. Observations. Table 2.5. Description of fodder plants. Here in this table, the description of fodder plants is given. The description includes 1. Plant name. 2. Local name. 3. Scientific name. 4. Variety name. 5. Planting method. 6. Special features like sowing time. 7. Uses. 8. Sketch or photograph. For example, plant name Napier grass or elephant grass. Local name Hatti Govard in Marathi. Scientific name Penicetum purpureum. Variety name Pusa giant. Planting method cuttings of stem or splits. Special features like sowing time. Sowing time February to March. Used as forage for livestock. Habitat and shelter for wildlife. 8. Sketch or photograph. You can draw a sketch or you can also paste a photograph in the given space. In the same way, you can write down the description of many other crops in the given columns 2, 3, 4 and 5. Page 45. 4th. Observation of biodiversity in weed plants. 1. Date of observation. 2. Location. 3. Habitat type. 4. Weather condition. 5. Observations. Table 2.6. Description of weed plants. In this table, the description of weed plants is given. The description include 1. Plant name. 2. Local name. 3. Scientific name. 4. Variety name. 5. Found in crops as a weed. 6. Special features, if any. 7. Uses. 8. Sketch or photograph. For example, plant name Bermuda grass. Local name Haral in Marathi. Scientific name Cynodon dactylon. Variety name Pusa giant. Found in crops as a weed. Example, sugarcane, cotton, grassland and fruit tree orchards. Special features, if any. Highly tolerant to heat and drought. It provides habitat and food for various insects and wildlife species. Uses. Used in playgrounds, sports fields and high traffic areas. Sketch or photograph. You can draw a sketch, or you can also paste a photograph in the given space. In the same way, you can write down the description of many other weed plants in the given columns 2, 3, 4 and 5. Fifth, observation of biodiversity in pests. 1. Date of observation. 2. Location. 3. Habitat type. 4. Weather condition. 5. Observations. Table 2.7. Description of pests. In this table, the description of pests is given. The description includes 1. Plant name. 2. Local name. 3. Scientific name. 4. Pest name. 5. Scientific name of pest. 6. Habitat. 7. Special features, if any. 8. Time or season of attack. 9. Sketch or photograph. For example, plant name, potato. Local name, aloo. In Hindi. Scientific name, Solanum tuberosum. Pest name, aphid, insect. Scientific name of pest, Myzus persicae. Green peach aphid, Aphis gossypi. Cotton aphid. Habitat. Aphids are commonly found on the undersides of leaves as well as on tender shoots and buds of plants. Special features, if any, can be found as winged and wingless forms. Time or season of attack. After winter, as the temperature starts rising. Sketch or photograph. You can draw a sketch, or you can also paste a photograph in the given space. In the same way, you can write down the description of many other pests in the given columns 2, 3, 4 and 5. Page 47. Did you know? You can visit the website of Season Watch to register a tree in your neighborhood and upload photographs every week. You can also track trees in other areas. Can you find any tree similar to those in your neighborhood in Season Watch? Did you get additional information about them? Activity 6. Identifying unknown. If there is any missing information or any additional information you may need to complete the tables from 2.3 to 2.7, you can ask an expert or a knowledgeable person in the community. You can use an AI tool or school library for getting information. Figure 2.6. Use multiple sources of information to find the information you need. In this image, there are school students using different sources of information like teachers, libraries, computers and books to get more information to fill the tables. Using AI tools to collect more information about plants, crops, weeds or pests. Google Lens is an image recognition technology that uses something called machine learning and OCR, optical character recognition, to analyze and provide information about objects, text, landmarks, and so on captured by a device's camera. It can identify objects, read text, translate languages, scan barcodes and quick response QR codes, and integrate with various Google services. You can access Google Lens through the Google Photos app or as a standalone app. And pointing the camera at objects, you can get relevant information or even perform tasks like translation and web searches. Google Lens analyzes any image and provides information. You can use Google Lens to identify scientific names, diseases, and other useful information about plants, crops, weeds, insects, and pests using photos. If you have not taken the photos, you can capture them using Google Lens itself. 1. Download and open the Google Lens app on the smartphone. 2. Locate the Google Lens icon in the search bar and tap on it. This activates Google Lens. 3. Point your camera at the plant, insect, image you want to identify and tap the shutter button to search. You can now add the missing information to the Biodiversity Register. Activity 7. Presentation of Biodiversity Register. Make a presentation on the biodiversity in each of the places you visited by using the information you have gathered. You can create charts, diagrams, models or whatever else you think of. Remember, the presentation will be based only on your observations and the information you have gathered. Highlight that there can be many variations in places and among living things. That is what biodiversity is all about. Your presentation can be in 2 parts. Part 1. Prepare a summary of the information you have gathered. Right now, the information you have gathered from visits made at different times is in different tables. Imagine you have to explain the biodiversity around yourself to a visitor. Combine the information from all the tables to create a summary for this visitor. Some guiding questions are given below. Please think of other questions and different ways to summarize your observations. You may include examples to support your reply to the questions. 1. What are the different plants that grow in the areas around you? Page 49. 2. Which plants grow in all seasons and which are seasonal? 3. Can all crops and fruits be harvested in the same season? 4. Do all plants flower in the same season? 5. Are the plants useful for us? If yes, how? 6. Is the same fodder available throughout the year or only during some seasons? 7. Are all plants affected by weeds? 8. Are some weeds useful? Please name some weeds and describe their use. 9. Are all plants affected by some sort of pests? 10. Are plants affected by some pests more in some seasons than others? 11. What information did you gather from people in the community? Example, use of plants as medicine, as fodder, sacred plants, etc. In this way, you can provide a full picture to the visitor. Figure 2.7. Making a presentation on Biodiversity Register. In this image, there are school students making a presentation about their biodiversity observations in the classroom using laptops, projector, and other things. Page 50. Part 2. Go beyond the information you have gathered. Now, think of the ways in which you can present the information you have gathered for a deeper understanding about the biodiversity around yourself. Your presentation will be a mix of diagrams and some explanations. Think of interesting ways to prepare it. Figure 2.7. Some guiding questions are given below, but try and think of others. 1. Did you observe more living things in one place as compared to the other? 2. How many varieties of plants and pests did you see in the places you visited? 3. Did you see the same kind of insects, pests or worms in more than one of the places you visited? 4. Did you use any AI tool for this activity? If yes, which ones and how? 5. Did you use any other sources to gather information? Include any conclusion or reflection that you would like to share through your presentation. What did I learn from others? Interaction with experts. You discussed with experts all the measures that can be taken to preserve biodiversity in the area. What do you think will work? Write down your observations in the given blank space. Page 51. Interaction with members of the community. You might have spoken to a farmer in a rural area, a nursery worker or a gardener in the city, or a community member in the rural or urban area. Write about how the biodiversity changed over the years in the area, let us say in the last 10 or 20 years. Write down in the blank space given below. What did I do and how long did it take? It is important to understand how much time is required for an activity to be completed. Calculate the approximate number of periods you spent on each activity. Mark them on the timeline below. If you did more than the activities suggested in the book, please add the number and time taken. You might have gone to the same place more than once as per your schedule. It is also possible that you went back multiple times to gather information. Try and calculate the total number of periods spent on each activity. Write down the time taken in periods in performing the different activities in the timeline. Page 52. Did you know? India is home to several biodiversity heritage sites, BHS, which are areas recognized for their unique biodiversity. The purpose of these sites is to protect biodiversity in the area and recognize their importance in ensuring traditional cultural practices related to the natural environment. The following are some notable biodiversity heritage sites in India. Point 1. The Nallur Tamarind Grove in Karnataka has tamarind trees that are over 400 years old. Point 2. Gogabil in Bihar is a paradise for bird lovers with over 90 species of birds, including many that travel from faraway places like Central Asia. Point 3. Tonglu in West Bengal has plants that you would not find anywhere else in the world. Point 4. Aminpur Lake in Hyderabad is home to over 200 bird species, even though it is in the middle of a busy city. Point 5. Majuli in Assam is the biggest river island on the planet and has monasteries called Satras. Point 6. The Myristica swamps in Kerala are home to ancient nutmeg, Jayaphala trees, which is a spice we use in cooking. Point 7. The Kali Tiger Reserve in Karnataka is a safe haven for Bengal tigers and other big animals like elephants. Point 8. The Chilkigarh Kanak Durga Sacred Grove in the West Bengal has special plants used in traditional medicine. This grove is protected by the local people. Point 9. In Zero Valley, Arunachal Pradesh, people grow rice and fish together in a unique way. Point 10. The Maoflang Sacred Grove in Meghalaya is protected by local tribes and is full of rare plants and medicinal herbs. Page 53. What else can I do? You can continue your observations of biodiversity at your home and other places you visited. Document your observations and create a nature journal or digital scrapbook. Please note that you can observe birds like kites and animals like mongoose in the city as well. Some scientists have started referring to these animals as urban wildlife. Observe the birds that visit your home. Note down how they look and how they behave. Find out their local name and scientific name and as much as you can discover about the birds. Ask family members and elders in the community about the birds and animals that they could see when they were young. Think and answer. 1. What did you enjoy doing? 2. What were the challenges you faced? 3. What will you do differently next time? 4. What according to you is the importance of the Biodiversity Register? 5. What other jobs are related to the project? Look around, speak to people and write your answer. A few examples of jobs related to the activity that you did are forest officer, scientist and conservationist. Page 54. Take care of your environment and planet Earth. In this page, there are images and symbols: environment, green energy, plants, planet, living and non-living things, natural resources, food and habitat, our home, protect, generate, grow, save, related to the conservation of environment and protection of planet Earth. Chapter ends.
You were just listening to this audio book, Textbook of Vocational Education for Grade 6. Narration Farhan Ali Naqvi. Sound recordist Virendra Rawat. Assistance in production Amarjit Sarkar. Directed and produced by Vimalesh Chaudhary. This audiobook is brought to you by CIET NCERT, New Delhi, India.